This tutorial is going to walk you through the basic workflow for Immusion. Basically what we're going to do is we're going to load a model, and then one by one we're going to load a sequence of images and then fuse each one of those images onto the model by first aligning the model with the image and then fusing. So let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do is load a model. All right, now that our model is loaded, you can see if I click on it, my cursor changes, and now I can actually rotate the model around, zoom it in and out, translate it around. If I click off it, then it's no longer selected. Next thing I'm going to do is load an image, and you can see I have a sequence of 5 images of this particular object, and one by one I'm going to load each image, fuse each image onto the model, and then I'm going to end up with sort of a photorealistic model that I can interact with in real time. So I'm going to start with this right side picture here. So as you can see, I loaded that particular image. Now I'm going to have to make it a little bit smaller so I can see the entire thing. Just like the model, if I click on it, I can select it and move it around. So now the task that I have before me is I need to align this model to the image. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the model and then start rotating it around until I get a good alignment. And I do have to spend some time on it, and it can be a little bit tricky. And there we go. I think that's a pretty good alignment. It took me a couple minutes to get it, but I think that looks pretty good. So we'll go ahead and press the Fuse Model button. And there, we can see the results, and if we want, we can just rotate it around and see what it looks like. I think that looks pretty good, but we'll know more later when we start fusing on the other images, how well the other images align with this particular one. So let's start with our next image. We'll try the front view this time, and again, we'll select the image, shrink it down so we can see the whole thing, and now we'll select the model. And now our task is to align the model with the image. And now, since we actually have image textures on the model, we want to make, like here, we want to make sure that this red line is sort of continuous between the two. So it actually gives us some more guidance with how to do our alignment. We also want to make sure this stuff aligns down here. And now I'm just making pretty small adjustments. I mean, this alignment is pretty good, but that actually looks pretty good. I can see seems like there's pretty good alignment here and pretty good alignment here. Now if I select the image, I can use the scroll wheel to change the transparency, and that allows me to get a better feel for how good the alignment is. And that actually looks like it's decent, I think. That's probably good enough for now. So let's press the fuse button. And there we have it. If we rotate the model around, we can sort of see how well the alignment was. I think we did good with this as far as this red line is concerned. We might have been able to do a little bit better down here if we'd worked at it a little bit longer. But for now, I think that's probably good enough. We've got a couple more images to do, so we'll move on to those. Let's try this left side image here. Now let's see if we can get a good alignment here. Again, we're going to use the image texture that we have already on the model to make sure that we can get a good alignment. I'm focusing now here on this sort of red band here. I want to get a good alignment there, and also on this texture down here. I've got it canted a little bit wrong. That seems like a pretty decent alignment there. Again, we can select the image and adjust the transparency and see. Nah, yeah, we didn't do good enough here. We can see that there's a big difference there, so we're going to try to improve that a little bit. Selecting the model. Figure it out. This alignment seems like it's probably pretty good. Let's fuse it. And there we go. We have that fused on. Let's take a look at the spin it around and see how we're doing. It looks pretty good. There's a few artifacts from our last fusion, but this one seemed to look pretty good. There's pretty good alignment there. We just have some uncovered parts on the top and on the bottom, which we'll take care of next. Again, all we have to do is translate, rotate, and scale until we get a pretty good alignment here. And there, I think we've got a pretty decent alignment there, which we can see by just adjusting the transparency of the image. We've got a fairly decent alignment. Let's see what it looks like. We'll fuse this image to the model as well. And there we have it. Let's take a look. Spin it around. I think that looks good enough for now. Let's find an image to cover this last region up here. And for this particular region, I cropped it pretty thin because I didn't want it to apply to any part of the model except this top part. So I cropped this image using Photoshop or any other sort of image processing application. So let's see if we can get a good alignment here. And what I'm focusing on right now is these the ears up here. I want to get those aligned. That's sort of the best clue I'm using right now with how to do this alignment. And I think there we finally have a pretty good alignment. Let's go ahead and fuse the image to the model. And we can rotate our model around and see how it looks. I think we did pretty good. I think if we worked at it a little more, we could maybe reduce the appearance of some of these lines and stuff. But for the most part, I think that's a pretty good result. So we're going to want to save our project, of course. We'll just call it cat and save it. Now if we want to come back and make any changes, we can do that. Please check out the other tutorials for how to export your project into a web model that can be displayed on the internet, or some of the other tutorials that describe some of the various settings and options you can change with respect to your model. Thank you.